Chapter 13. Aspiration Step 7. Make your offering. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Lao Tzu. The most important decision about your goals is not what you're willing to do to achieve them, but what you are willing to give up. Dave Ramsey. Nothing is impossible to a willing heart. John Haywood. To make space for the new, you need to let go of the old. To transform yourself, you need to sacrifice yourself. You do that by letting go of everything that is not aligned with your goals and values, thus creating space in your life for what matters most. Self-discipline can be hard because it requires some sacrifice. The sacrifice of, at times, not doing what would feel pleasant in the moment, or the sacrifice of doing something that feels unpleasant. That is not really appealing for our lizard brain because it just cares about the pleasure or pain that is in front of us right now. Mindful self-discipline is about outgrowing that primitive view of the world. It involves our capacity to sacrifice, our willingness to let go of a small short-term gain, instant gratification, for a greater long-term gain, delayed gratification. It is trading a small value, comfort, for a larger value, fulfillment. It is following your bliss. Yes, the higher bliss. The concept of sacrifice is as old as humankind and is found in the lore of all ancient philosophical and spiritual traditions. You give up something of value now to get something of greater value later. This requires faith because there are no guarantees. The only guarantee you have is that if you don't make your sacrifice, you will never get to the end goal. The word sacrifice comes from two Latin roots, sacra, sacred things, and facere, to do or perform. To make a sacrifice is to do something sacred and make something sacred. From the point of view of self-discipline, to be willing to make a sacrifice means that you are getting attuned to what is most sacred inside of you, your highest values and aspirations. It is almost like life wants you to prove how much you want something, and if you thus prove yourself, then you can get whatever you desire. Make your offering. In order to achieve your goals and fulfill your aspirations, you need to make an offering. Your offering is the price you are willing to pay for what you want. It's your commitment, your skin in the game. The bigger the offering you make, the bigger reward you can reap. The more you are willing to give, the more you are ready to receive. Often what we need to sacrifice are the usual suspects, part of our time, money, and energy. But it could also be other things. It could be sacrificing relationships that are no longer serving you, habits that are holding you back, or many opportunities for instant gratification when they distract you from your goals. Sometimes the only thing we need to sacrifice is our old self. It is letting go of our limiting beliefs, excuses, and the old stories we have been telling ourselves for years. At other times, we need to sacrifice holding on to two opposing desires at the same time, such as the desire to snooze the alarm versus the desire to have a productive morning, or the desire to eat chocolate cake every day versus the desire to be fit and healthy. How much time, money, energy, and pleasure are you willing to offer in return for success in your goal? How much of yourself are you willing to offer? The more you are willing to offer, the more energy you generate toward your aspiration. The more you give, the more you get. Empty yourself fully, and there is nothing you cannot receive. You cannot cheat this system. People keep trying to avoid paying the price by using hacks, magic pills, and empty promises of overnight success from greedy internet marketers. It rarely works, and if it does, it is neither sustainable nor fulfilling. If you don't get what you want, it's a sign either that you did not seriously want it or that you tried to bargain over the price. Rudyard Kipling. The Buddha said that life is suffering, and that is so unless you become a Buddha yourself. Whether you believe in the Buddha or not, it's an axiomatic that life without any pain or discomfort is not possible. You cannot choose to never experience pain, but you can choose your pain. You can choose the pain of self-discipline or the pain of regret and wasted potential. The bad news, then, is that sacrifice is inevitable. With any choice we make in life, we are sacrificing something. We are saying yes to one thing and no to 1,000 other things. The question is not if you will sacrifice, but what are you already sacrificing? The good news as it is this: you can choose your sacrifice, and with that, your future. You can choose the life you want to live and the person you want to be, but it won't come for free. You can choose your goals and aspiration, but not their price. What are you willing to let go of into pursuit of your aspiration? What is your offering? What is your sacrifice? Take a few moments to reflect on these questions. It will be time well spent. You won't make a sacrifice if you have no faith in yourself. If there is doubt about the importance of the goal or about the capacity to achieve it, sacrificing your present moment comfort will not make much sense. If you have a solid aspiration and self-belief, then you will be willing to commit yourself to your goal. Own your aspiration. Have faith in your capacity to actualize it. And then take a step forward every day, accepting discomfort and boredom as a small fee to pay for the transformation you desire. You will not regret it. Do not consider painful what is good for you. Euripides. I know I just slaughtered this man's name. My bad. The fact that you need to make an offering doesn't mean that you need to suffer. You can actually make the sacrifice easier by changing your perception about it. It does not need to feel like passive resignation or self-denial. When you see things under the right light, the potential pain of self-discipline is not really a sacrifice, but an investment. And like any other investment, there is the potential of a big reward at the end, but also a risk of no reward at all. Sacrifice simply increases the probability of a better future for you by creating a psychological state where change and progress can happen more easily. Those who make the offering may or may not get the end reward, but those who do not definitely won't get it. So how can you make this offering feel less of a sacrifice? By changing the way you look at it. There are a few different ways to do that. Thank you, Bigo. And first, you can see sacrifice as something that you are doing for yourself, not against yourself. Your offering is you saying yes to yourself, to your aspiration. It is you deciding to live a life in harmony with your higher self. It is you investing in self-mastery and personal growth. And there's a sense of satisfaction that naturally comes with that. A disciplined life is a good life. In a way, self-discipline is its own reward because it brings inner strength, equanimity, well-being, and several other virtues. And if at the end of your effortful journey, you also achieve your goal, that is a lovely bonus, the cherry on top. It may take some time to adopt this new way of thinking. Give yourself that time because it's worth it. Once you do, There will be less friction in your path. Self-discipline becomes mindful self-discipline. If you see the offering like paying taxes, then you'll likely want to escape it. But if you look at it as an expression of your deepest goals and values, you will welcome it with an open heart. Making an offering makes things real. It shows that your aspiration is true. It is the ultimate proof that you have found something to live for, a true sense of purpose and meaning. And that brings more happiness than a small pleasure given up on the way. Working hard toward your goal is also an investment in your future happiness. It guarantees that you will be more satisfied with the result. We don't value things that come effortlessly in our lives. We value things that we have to pay a big price to get, be it in the form of effort, money, time, or sacrifice. Therefore, making an offering also means that you are able to enjoy the end reward more. It builds up contentment. Finally, making an offering, even if you don't have 100% faith in yourself, creates buy-in. It forces your brain to generate that self-belief because you don't want to lose on both fronts. In case you are not committed, it makes you commit. A balanced offering. If you are truly ready to do whatever it takes, then you will achieve your goal. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of time. But that is not always practical. You might have a determination like that regarding your deepest aspiration, but that feeling likely won't be in there in relation to your smaller goals, for which you also want to be more disciplined in, and that's okay. It's not about investing all you've got into every single goal you have. That might be too high of a price to pay, depending on the goal. That could potentially require you to sacrifice your health, or your career progression, or your life savings, or important relationships. For most goals and aspirations, that is not a good idea. It would lead you to have a life of pure fire and no water, thus losing the balance. See chapter 3. This is not what mindful self-discipline is about. If you are a 21-year-old with no dependents, no responsibilities, and nothing to lose, then you can do whatever you want and risk everything at every step of the way. For the rest of us, we live complex lives and want to grow in more than one area in life. Therefore, we need to look at our lives holistically and pursue our goals responsibly according to the phase of life we're in. That doesn't change the fact that each goal has a price. You need to be fully aware of that. Be fully honest with yourself, and then pick goals and paths that are realistic for you, given your other roles in life. Exercise. Practice choosing discomfort. Mindful self-discipline is about doing what is good for you. The challenge is what is good does not always feel good, and what feels good is not always good. Therefore, make decisions based on how things are, regardless of how they feel. For that, you need to separate the search for what is good from the search for what is comfortable. A reoccurring theme of self-discipline is the willingness to go through discomfort, be it physical, mental, or emotional. It's the ability to experience uncomfortable emotions without that stopping you from doing what you need to do. This is key. In the words of a friend and podcast guest, Dr. Rick Hansen, PhD, the limits of our life are the limits of the emotions we are unwilling to feel. If you are willing to feel everything without resistance and without running away, self-discipline becomes easy because you then have the superpower of acting regardless. You can choose to act regardless of fear, boredom, laziness, tiredness, doubt, etc. You just keep moving on forward no matter what. You can train yourself to be like that. One of the ways to do that is to practice what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus calls voluntary discomfort. It is deliberately putting yourself through uncomfortable situations so that discomfort no longer holds you back. You basically schedule a form of sacrifice into your daily routine until it ceases to feel like a sacrifice. This builds great willpower and emotional resilience. Another Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, called it.
Yeah, Aurelius.
What is it?
Marcus Aurelius.
Aurelius, thank you. Called it voluntary hardship. If the fitness adage of pain is weakness leaving your body is true, then we can also say that discomfort is weakness leaving your mind. Move toward meaningful pain, not away from it. This will make you stronger. Note: please don't go overboard with this and don't do anything silly. It's about developing strong willpower and not becoming a masochist or hurting yourself. Be mindful. Here's a little chart.
What's the name of this book?
Mindful Self-Discipline.
Oh, okay. I like you reading to me, though. I like this.
Yes. Choose one difficult thing to do every day. Once that becomes easy, then choose something else. Always exercise your willpower muscle and never fall into inertia. Use the examples at the end of chapter 4 for ideas about how to put this into practice, but always remember to keep things balanced so you don't burn out. Chapter 3. Once you overcome attachment to comfort, your life becomes much easier. Whether you feel comfortable or not doesn't matter that much anymore. As a result, you need less stuff. You complain less. You fear less. You are more content with everything, and you are naturally more disciplined. Paradoxically, choosing discomfort makes your life more comfortable. You become more carefree, and your threshold for discomfort becomes much higher. What used to be uncomfortable in the past will now feel like nothing. Many people seek to become financially independent, and that's great. Even better, though, is to become comfort independent. For true wealth is not endless money in the bank, but endless contentment in your heart. Key points. In order to achieve your goals, you need to be able to let go of short-term gains, instant gratification, for greater long-term gain, delayed gratification, trading a small value, comfort, for a larger value, fulfillment. This requires strong aspiration and self-belief. Your offering is the price you are willing to pay for what you want. It's your commitment, your skin in the game. The bigger the offering you make, the bigger the reward you can reap. Your offering could be time, money, energy, bad habits, limiting beliefs, or contradictory desires. You cannot cheat this system. Your goals won't come for free. You can choose your goals and aspiration, but not their price. Sacrifice is inevitable. Life without pain is not possible, but you can at least choose your pain. Make sacrifice easier by reframing it as something positive. To sacrifice is to make an investment in your future and to say yes to yourself. It is you investing in self-mastery and personal growth, and there is a sense of satisfaction that comes with that. A disciplined life is a good life. It's its own reward. Your offering needs to be balanced so it won't hurt other areas of your life that are also priorities for you. So we need to look at our lives holistically and pursue our goals responsibly. What is good for you does not always feel good, and what feels good is not always good for you. Therefore, make decisions based on how things are, regardless of how they feel. To make this possible, separate the search for what is good from the search for what is comfortable by practicing voluntary discomfort. Choosing discomfort actually makes your life more comfortable. You become more carefree, and your threshold for this discomfort becomes much higher. Obsessing after comfort makes you less comfortable. Chapter 14.